You are listening to the Joyce Aldrich Show from Toronto, Canada, Arts and Entertainment Edition.
Vamos a la conga, ay Dios, vamos que ya suena el bongo, las maracas suenan ya y ya repica el timbal. Mi negra, vamos a entrar porque ya la conga no vuelve más. Vamos a la conga, ay Dios, vamos que ya suena el bongo, las maracas suenan ya y ya repica el timbal. Mi negra, vamos a entrar porque ya la conga no vuelve más. Para Vigo me voy, mi negra, dime adiós. Anda bongo cero, toca ya, que soy medio loco.
wonderful guest tonight. That's the song Para Vigo Me Voy. And my guest tonight is guitarist, vocalist, composer, arranger, band leader, Cuban-born, Toronto and Miami-based musician Luis Mario Ochoa. And that is from his fifth album, Forever Lecuona, and which was released April 6, 2022. So I want to welcome you here, Luis, to to my program, to the Joyce Aldrich Show. It's so great to finally get you on here.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and it's a pleasure to be talking to Canada. Haven't done that in a while.
well, you emigrated to Canada from Cuba to Cuba. Yeah.
Yes, that was in 1990, but in 2018, I moved to US, and I have been here ever since.
Well, yeah. Miami is an incredible hub for Cuban music, as we all know, and Toronto as well. It's become an incredible both places, and of course,
I remember when I got to Canada, there was no one there. Basically, I mean, the Latin community. There was, Memo Acevedo, a good Colombian percussionist, was there, and he was a teacher at Humber College. Other than that, there was very, very, very little Latin music. There was a Mexican group that I don't remember. It was a quartet, but they were kind of pop. With Freddie Young on piano. He's a great Peruvian pianist. But other than that, there was no one else doing serious Latin music
there seemed to
Toronto.
No, there seemed to be an influx mid 90s. You came just before that big influx of people, like Hilario Duran. I remember when he came, and he's the pianista with you.
We do a lot of collaboration. He just won a Grammy now, and
for best arrangement.
And I was honored to be featured on that. Recording. It's an amazing recording. I'm so glad. It was about time that he was granted a Grammy.
Absolutely. It was so exciting to see him going down there to the States to get his Grammy Award for Best Arrangement. But he's a phenomenal pianist and a performer, and so gracious and good.
Phenomenal human being as well. That's one thing that I choose my friends very carefully, and I'm very pleased to say that he's one of my best friends.
Well, just a side story, because this is all about stories and talking about different things. He actually accompanied me on 2 gigs, and it was one of those things where we were playing in Yorkville, and some one of his students came by and he looked at him and said, "What are you doing here?" Because he's the great Hilario Duran, and he's this. I know, and we did another one down on the beaches, and I remember us coming back after that gig, and it was so cold he had to go and buy a jacket, and we were carrying the piano and the stand, out of the big crowd, because there were no buses. It was the beaches, there was a festival, so it was like, oh my gosh, it was. But this is the kind of person he is. He's down to earth and good, like you, because you all. Also, yes, because I remember you, the first time I met you was when I was with Pablo Terry and Sol de Cuba at the time, and I was helping Pablo produce his CDs, and I think you sat in on South America Sensual, that CD. I can't remember which one it was, but it was one of those. And you were amazing and so professional in studio and phenomenal. So there's our Toronto connections, and also you play with Papiosco, Luis Obregoso, Roberto Riveron, all these amazing people. Yeah. So Forever Lecuona. Let's talk about Ernesto Lecuona, because that's like a heart of Cuban music, is it not? Or am I making a mistake
here? Very much, very much. I mean, the man was amazing. Aside from being an incredible classical pianist, he was also a composer, a lyricist. He wrote little operas. He was a manager, a booking agent.
a promoter. He promoted so many great talent that made their name, international names, thanks to him because of his promotion. His promotion. He was one guy that didn't take it all for himself. You know, he just went out and future great Cuban artists that he loved, and they instantly became big stars,
Yes.
both in Cuba and international.
Yeah, this is the phenomenon of Lecuona, and he is so beloved not just by musicians but anybody who listens to his music. The compositions, they don't even realize they're listening to that music that was composed by him. You
Yeah.
know,
And by the way, I'm very much into the Latin jazz world
yes,
and Afro Cuban music. He was the one that created that word of Afro Cuban music,
ah,
that phrase. That was him.
so
And
he
after that, we know what we have after that. But he was the one that uh, called the symbiotic relation between African music and Spanish music, Afro Cuban music.
wow. Well, the thing with Cuban music, and Lecuona, of course, would have recognized that as a classical pianist and everything else that he was, because it has so many rhythms. It comes from Europe, from the classical music. It comes from Africa. It comes from the soul. It's a very complex, and the rhythms are like at least 1,000 or 2,000 different rhythms. When you listen to the music, you just the meld of rhythms in there is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, today we have so many great Cuban musicians and composers that have achieved worldwide recognition, but he was the one that opened that door.
Here,
I mean, there were some others before him. Simon, who composed El Manicero.
oh,
Manini,
Manicero, yeah.
Manicero, that was the biggest Cuban hit in the world when it was created in the 30s. But uh, Lecuona was right there with him, and he had composed already some worldwide recognized music. Um, but definitively, uh, Lecuona is the best recognized Cuban musician outside of Cuba. I'm not sure how well is he known today in Cuba, but things there are a little crazy. But
Yeah.
with all the reggaeton and music
Hmm.
has gone south. Just to call it in a polite way. But
Yeah.
definitively, Lecuona is the number one composer, Cuban composer, um, worldwide recognized. I mean, we have Chucho Valdez in Latin
Oh,
jazz and
yeah.
Paquito, and we have Leo Brauer in classical music. But Lecuona was
He's
the one,
definitive.
and is still the best recognized Cuban composer.
Oh, when you think of traditional Cuban music, you think of danzón and son and even salsas and boleritos and this beautiful romantic music, but music that also talks about life. And I think that's the difference now. Where do you think Cuban music is going, actually, now that we're sort of on that subject, really,
Well,
from where it was to where it's going?
I think the best, it's not myself saying it, but many people say that you can get better Cuban music outside of Cuba right now, these
Mm,
days, in the exile community. I mean, you have the best classical musician from Cuba, who is Leo Brauer,
yeah.
uh, outside of Cuba, and you have the best Latin jazz musicians uh, like Chucho, Arturo,
Hmm.
Sandoval,
Yep.
Paquito Rivera, Gonzalo Rubalcaba, outside of Cuba. I mean, everybody has left.
Yeah.
Everybody has left. So you get better music outside of Cuba these days than actually in Cuba.
And actually, I noticed a lot of non-Cubans playing Cuban music pretty well. And
Absolutely.
you taught at Humber, did you not teach
I did, yes, for 10
a
years.
class? And what
For
was that class about?
It was ensemble. Latin jazz big band ensemble
Mm.
and combo ensemble,
Wow. So,
Cuban music.
yeah, so you're teaching the Canadian kids who want to learn that how to play Cuban music. And
Absolutely, and some of
yeah,
them have already won Juno awards.
wow.
So I'm very proud of them. Alison Au is one of my former students, and she's amazing. And there are some other names out there that I don't want to be going through all of them, but
Yeah, a little bit
there.
closer to the mic.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I was really happy to feature them in my band Cimarron. Every
Mm.
time I had a chance, I brought them just to the real world, guys. You know, play with good musicians and start your career. Many of them jumped up their career playing in my band.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. And a lot of, what about the fusion? How do you feel about fusion, the fusion of Latin, like Cuban music with other music, 'cause, and world music? Like, how do you feel about that combination?
Oh, I have no problem with fusion.
Yeah.
I love fusion.
Okay.
I love any music that is good.
Ah, yes.
Okay, I made that big difference. There is good music, and then there is something else.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking of people who are the purists. The good thing is that even if in actually in Cuba, that like you said, a lot of those great musicians have left, and so the people there don't have any kind of role model there. Anyone who's going to be training and teaching that music necessarily.
Well, not
Or is it
necessarily.
is
I
it,
mean,
is it is it okay still?
Cuba, yeah,
Yeah,
Cuba
okay.
is
I just want to sure it's not lost.
one of those things that Cuba has is that anywhere you look, there is talent.
Okay.
You know, both in classical and popular music. And one of the good things that have happened is that finally they open up the internet in Cuba,
Oh,
access to internet, and
good.
that have been fantastic. Lots of the young players, young musicians have learned a lot, have has access to technical videos and technical recording. And you listen to the recordings coming out of Cuba these days, and they have nothing to you know
They're excellent.
envy to the real big record companies here. I mean, they have uh, upgraded their learning skills.
Yeah. Well, no. Well, I was wondering about that because I know the internet was closed down forever. How long ago was it opened up?
I don't know, maybe 10 years ago
10 years.
they
Yeah. Okay.
started opening. I think it was with Obama. So
Oh, okay.
Obama is already more than 10 years. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there I'm behind the times there because I wasn't sure how that was working. For because I know it was awful. It was just awful. There was like
It is bad. It is
yeah.
bad, but it's better than before. It's better than before.
Well, why don't we play one of Cimarron, one of the songs from Cimarron when you were here in Toronto? Which one would you like to play? I'll look for it in the big long list of music you
Yeah,
gave me.
I don't know, Lamento Cubano or Brenda
Oh,
with Love with
lament.
Paquito
Yes,
Rivera or
Lamento Cubano. I have that one that I
Afro
want to
Cuban
play.
chant. I mean, there are so many.
Yeah, yeah. How about we play Lamento Cubano? Can you give a backstory to that while I'm just
Oh,
lining that
oh,
up?
okay. Lamento Cubano. It's a composition. The composer.
Are you there?
Fall on the floor. Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, because
Um, Lamento Cubano, uh, composed by Eliseo Grenet. It was composed um, in 1932,
wow.
and he composed it um, to complain about a dictator of the time. His name was Machado.
Mm.
He had a dictatorship. Cuba Cuba, is
Mhm.
one dictator after another.
Yeah.
Um, and um, and he composed that song, which is a lament. He's complaining about how sad Cuba is, and uh, we cannot do this. That song was composed in 1932,
Hmm.
and it has been prohibited ever since. So
Really.
look what an interesting thing, because then Batista came. I mean, there were some other freely elected presidents, like four or five,
Hmm.
or three or four, but right after that, Batista did a coup d'état in 1952,
Hmm.
and ever since we have had dictatorship. I
Yeah.
mean, since 1952 to 2025, I already lost how many years is that?
Hmm.
Like 70 something.
Yeah.
And that song is still prohibited.
Then we have to
In-
play it. We have to play it.
Good. Yes, because
Absolutamente.
I'm rebel. I have a rebel soul. By the way, cimarrón means wild and untamed, and that's my spirit. I cannot be tied up. I was in I was muted in Cuba for
Mhm.
too long, 20 long years.
Yeah.
And when I escaped that jungle, or that prison, that is
Yes, I
the island of
understand.
Cuba, I just became free, and
Yeah.
called my band Cimarrón.
Well, we're
But
gonna
now Lamento Cubano.
Lamento Cubano. So here we are, and it still holds true today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we are. Lamento Cubano.
Oh, Cuba hermosa, primorosa, porque sufres hoy tanto quebranto. Oh, patria mía, ¿quién diría que tu cielo azul nublar el llanto? Oh, al contemplar tu ardiente sol, tus campos plenos de verdor, pienso en el tiempo aquel que se fue. Cuba, oh, en el susurro del palmar se siente el eco resonar de una voz de dolor que al amor llama. Oh, Cuba hermosa, primorosa, porque sufres hoy tanto quebranto. Bonito. Con dulzura. Sentimiento, compay. Un saludo a mi Cuba bella. Ahí nada más. Hace falta un meteorito para ese tiranosaurio. desata con sus ansias de poder. Ya ves, arranca. Al contemplar tu ardiente sol, tus campos plenos de verdor, pienso en el tiempo aquel que se fue, Cuba.
Arranca, arranca, yes. When you said arranca, I could feel the whole pain in the song. But you know, oh, Luis, your voice soars and it's clear, and what a range you have! Wow, so amazing. Oh, it's glorious, gorgeous.
I'm gonna hire you as my manager.
Anytime. I'm telling you, you really, the way you soar into the notes, you're so open, and that's amazing, just amazing. But when I'm listening, how can anybody not move to Cuban music? I mean, seriously, and to watch musicians on stage, because, for a while for 11 años estoy en la banda cubana. So, but I could only do the boleritos every so often, but that was it. That was fine. But, to be in that kind of environment and with that music, you develop chops. Everybody gets better when they play with Cuban musicians. Everybody, because you have to be, because it's pretty incredible to be on stage and even to be in the audience, to watch. It's everything is moving. There's no dead space. There's no dead air. Everything is going. It's fantastic.
Happy music and sad music. Cubans and Brazilians and American music from the South.
Yes.
When I mean the South, I mean
Yeah.
New Orleans. The jazz and the black influence North American music is,
Come a little bit closer to your
they
mic.
They did something to music,
Mm-hmm.
Cuba, Brazil, and the American songbook and the American jazz.
Yes,
The classical American music.
absolutely.
Those are my three loves, and classical music, of course.
Of course. And, when I listen to the traditional Cuban music, like we just listened to right now, I hear a clock ticking. That's what it's like this incredible timing, like this, it feels like tick, tick, tick with every little, it's like this. That is my cat. He heard me saying that. He's not an amontuno, he's a meowtuno. Rory, you got to be quiet. He says, why? Anyway, but what is it that? Yes, he just said hello to you, Luis. He says thank you for feeding 15 cats a night. Anyway, the montuno. What is the montuno? Does it have something to do with that kind of timing? What is that? That's one thing
Montuno is. Let me grab my guitar just to give you an example.
Okay.
Montuno is a rhythm that is played by the congas, by the bass.
Yeah, a little bit closer to the mic though, because I'm not picking you up.
I don't know if you can hear the guitar here.
I
Can
can.
you hear that?
Yep.
Okay. A montuno is just a rhythm that is based on mambo, and everybody does it. The bass plays a montuno, the conga plays montuno, the timbal plays montuno, the piano, the tres, the guitar, and this is a montuno.
Yeah.
That is a montuno.
Yeah, and I'm just feeling now with that, the drums coming. Doom, 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 bum, ba, dum, dum, bum, ba, dum, bum, ba. Yeah, like in with it, it's amazing. But but everything follows that, and when everything comes together, It sounds to me like a clock ticking. Beautiful. I don't know.
Well, it is a pattern,
Yeah.
uh, and there are different kind. I just play you. They're just like a little mambo montuno, no?
Mm-hmm.
but
Mm-hmm.
but but most of them are based on the mambo, and that's what.
On the mambo.
Yeah.
Because the mambo came before the samba. I mean, not the samba, the salsa, right? The mambo
Well,
is an older form of dance
well,
and
salsa is
cha-cha.
not a rhythm. Salsa is a commercial name
Oh,
that a DJ in Venezuela used to call rhythms that were hot and tasty,
okay.
you know. So
Those, yeah.
he had a radio program that, and he used to announce it like salsa time or something like that.
Oh,
Salsa, and
ah,
but salsa is sauce, it's what you put
exactly, exactly.
on food,
Yeah.
mambo was a rhythm that was created by Cachao, a fantastic bass player in the 20s, the
Mm-hmm.
30s, and there are some other people that attribute it to God, I forget the names. El Ciego Maravilloso, the Marvelous Blind, and I forget his name now. It was a great Cuban tres player.
Mm-hmm.
From the same time, he was very influential, Arsenio Rodriguez.
Ah,
Uh, yeah, Arsenio Rodriguez. Those people in the 30s were coming up with rhythms that were later renamed in like salsa, and
right.
that happened when Castro came to power. That he basically prohibited Cuban music, Cuban popular music, because everything had
Oh,
to be politicized.
oh,
He didn't prohibit it, but the radio only played either classical music or revolutionary songs.
great.
And that was in the 60s. Many Cuban artists and musicians left, such as um, Chucho Valdez's father, Bebo Valdez, he
Yeah.
left, and Celia Cruz.
Yes,
Uh,
Celia.
Big names like those
Incredible.
left Cuba, and oh boy, hold on a second. Fiesta time, okay, like fiesta time.
Yeah.
Uh, and but the name was a hook, and people took it over.
Well, it's a great hook. It works, you know. And
Yeah, it worked. Yeah,
we got salsa on St. Clair here in Toronto,
I know, I
and,
know. Yeah.
salsa night and all this kind of stuff, and salsa band. People call themselves that thing. But okay, so let's talk about it as well. Okay, the different like you can have. Of course, you can play on your own, but there are different quartets, sextets, and then the big guerrilla bands. The great big ones, 15 people on stage. And
Oh
the,
boy.
I know you understand. What do you prefer to play with? How many people would you prefer to play with? Because I only call them guerrilla bands because I remember Pablo calling them that guerrilla bands. Like GUERILLA. There's so many on stage. It's like, whoa, oi.
An army.
And,
Well, I like big bands. I
mhm.
always loved big bands. I like arranging a lot. I like the
Yes.
production part. I like composing. I like writing for different instruments. That is probably my biggest passion.
You're the partitura
Um,
guy.
eh?
You're the partitura guy. You like to, you like,
Yeah, the
the
partitura. Yeah,
partitura.
I like that. And my partituras, my charts, they're famous among Latin musicians in Toronto,
I
and
bet.
Canadian musicians that play Latin music, because they are neat.
Yes.
They are very clear. They're made for people that cannot blame the chart that you made a mistake. You made a mistake because you suck.
Oh,
Okay,
it's
so
horrible.
yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah, I like big bands, but it is prohibited. Every time I went and applied for a festival or something, that is one of nightmares in Canada.
uh-huh.
How many are you? No, we are 10. Oh my God, they wanted to call the 911 on me. And so I started bringing it down, just
Yeah.
to a quintet. sometimes a quartet, sometimes a trio, sometimes a duo, because
Exactly.
you have to, you have to play.
And you have to pay your musicians too,
And
because
I
it,
play my
yeah.
musicians, always paid my musicians well.
Yes.
No, well.
Yes.
Always pay my musicians well.
I agree with you. You know, when I go out, the reason I don't go out to sing a lot, and I've mentioned this on my program before, and I'm not bemoaning it, but I pay union rates. You know, so
Well, yeah,
if
I
I,
paid above union. I
yeah,
paid,
yeah,
I
exactly,
paid.
exactly. A minimum union is $150 per musician for 3 sets, and
Yeah,
then up above that, I can usually do minimum union. You know, because out of my poor pocket, because I'm a singer. You know,
yeah, good.
but
And I don't do 3 sets,
no,
2 sets, and
yeah.
thank you very much, goodbye.
And well, yeah, you can do well. That's good. You can do two 45-minute sets, and that's cool. That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
So you have played in all the different sizes of bands, of course, and it's true. You have to sort of bring them down. But at Lula Lounge here in Toronto, I mean, that's where you'll see those big bands. Did you played there, right?
I play
Yeah,
there
many
a
times,
lot,
a lot.
like a lot. There was a time where I was playing there almost 3 times a week
Wow.
with 3 different bands of mine. So
You were pretty busy.
yeah, yeah. There was a point where I was doing playing with someone else during the weekdays, and then I was playing a Friday or Saturday a salsa night with my band, and then on Sundays they were when they started doing lunch
Uh-huh.
brunches on Sundays. They hired my Cuba Tradicional quartet just to play there during the lunch, and I did that almost like for a year.
Beautiful.
So yeah, I was, I have beautiful memories of Lula. And
Yeah.
then I went to open my own little place called Bloom Restaurant. It was an accidental thing. It was due to family issues that my brother-in-law, rest
Uh-huh.
in peace, couldn't
Oh,
handle 2 places at once, and he was going to lose one of them. And my wife said, Luis Mario, I need your help, and I just jumped into it. And that was the story.
yeah. Closer to the mic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then I start hiring a lot of great musicians at my restaurant,
That
just
must have
just
been
doing.
wonderful.
Yeah, oh, it was
What years were those?
beautiful.
Because I missed those years. What happened there? I was
Um,
where did I go?
what is 2000 and 2011
Uh-huh.
to
Okay.
and then my brother-in-law died, and my wife
Sorry.
couldn't handle it anymore because she has a full time job,
Right.
and we had to sell it after COVID.
Mm.
She was devastated with the loss of her brother,
Well,
and
sure.
I wasn't there, so
Well, COVID
hell.
COVID destroyed a lot of businesses,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that
we
that
were
especially
very, very
restaurant is
lucky. Yeah, extremely, extremely lucky that we were able to sell the place because it got a really, really good name,
mm-hmm.
and it was like a destination restaurant.
Right.
Um, we had a Cuban chef, probably the best Cuban chef in whole Canada,
Wow.
Pedro Quintanilla, and I mean, the guy was amazing, and but yeah, my wife couldn't do it anymore. It's a restaurant, and she has a full time job
Sure.
in the tourist industry. She's a national director of marketing for a big tourist company that manages U.S. and Canada. So I mean, I don't know how she did it. I truly don't know how she did it.
Well, it's amazing when you really love what you're doing too. It you know it makes a difference. You know that
Yep,
kind of
yep.
thing. But let's play some more music.
Yeah, yeah.
I really I was thinking of playing to Brenda with Love because that is a
Okay, Paquito.
yeah it's that who's that playing on that?
Paquito de Rivera
Ah,
is the clarinet. Yeah,
yes,
he
that's
did.
why I like to play it because usually with Cuban music you hear the flute. You know,
Yeah,
it's not for me. I haven't heard the clarinet as often.
yeah.
It's more unusual.
Yeah, Paquito de Rivera is just out of this world playing that clarinet. He's just out of this world.
Yeah, I thought
And
so.
that is a composition that he wrote for his wife, Brenda.
Hmm.
And I did the arrangement, and he said, "Love it,
It's gorgeous.
do it." Yeah,
It's gorgeous. So let's
Thank you.
play to Brenda with love, and it's really jazzy, and it's brings
Yes,
it gives that Afro Cuban jazz feel that's really great, and people are gonna love it. And I adored the clarinet in it. I thought, wow, this is nice and different because it gives that warm, woody sound that the clarinet has a different sound. The flute's got that. It's got a warm tone too, depending on who plays it. But
That's exactly.
yeah, I mean,
Who
Pablo
plays it.
Terry has a very good sound on the flute. He has
Yeah,
that
he has it.
beautiful, warm sound. But I've heard some, oh, no, thank you. Anyway, but here's to Brenda with love. And this is, again, another one that you recorded with Cimarron. So this is another Toronto destination here. All right, to Brenda with love. Enjoy. That I love the percussion breaks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
That was in jazz we call trading when the percussions um, have a break
Mm-hmm.
to do a solo,
Mm-hmm.
and another instrument, the soloist, plays 8 bars or 4 bars, and they trade soloing. So they call it fourth. Let's trade fourth or let's trade eighth. And I did the trading with the percussion and the horn section.
Yes,
So I wrote that, and people liked it.
they do. And one thing that okay, I got to say this in a really good way because it's nothing to do with what you do, but it's got to do with the jazz scene here in Toronto. And because I'm a jazz singer, and I'm finding people are in a rut when it comes to how they're presenting their songs. So the singer sings, the piano does a solo, the bass does a very long solo, very long solo.
Four bass players.
Excuse- and like you're going like, when is he going to stop? And then the drummer may come in once in a while. He might get a little solo, and then the singer comes back again. This, you know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
It's kind of like it becomes a rut, though. What happens is people are not. I think a song can be sung right straight through without a solo.
Well,
Person, or it can be sung with a solo. But I like that trading off a lot more because when you're doing that, it brings more excitement to the song.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It gives more variety, so the ear is not bored. It doesn't fall asleep or start talking to their neighbor in the bar or wherever they're playing and ordering another drink or some food. I mean, that's the kind of thing you want people to listen and to be engaged.
Yeah, when I play, I try to play for the audience, not only for myself.
Yes.
Um, just the entertaining part is extremely important for me. I converse with the audience
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah. Closer to the mic.
Yeah, I speak softly, so it's
You
not
do.
that I'm not close.
Oh
Yeah.
no! It's because you've got the most amazing voice, and I don't want you to ruin
Oh,
it
thank
by
you so
having to
much. Yeah.
shout at me.
Yeah. No, no, I'll speak a little bit louder.
Yeah.
The thing is that I like communication, and one of the reasons jazz get a bad rap is because musicians get too much into their own world and forget that they are playing for someone else, and then they wonder, hey, why people don't call me? It's just because, man, you close your eyes and you go to another world and you forget that there is an audience they are paying for you to listen to you.
Yeah.
So you just don't play solos so extended,
Yeah. Oh,
everybody wants to be John Coltrane playing solos for 30, 45 minutes.
no, no.
No, that's not the times we're living.
No, no, no. That's for that's for a few people who want to hear that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and it's
I mean,
not that it's bad.
I am
It's
not
good music.
exempted of,
Yeah.
I'm not exempted of fault. I when I do a song and I want everybody in the band to do a solo, we call it a chorus because
Yeah.
just we go around the song changes once, and then I don't want people taking more than one solo. I just do one, and
Yeah.
let's move on to someone else.
Yeah. Exactly. Give
But
everyone a break. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just because I didn't want to fall into that rut. I didn't want to be that jazz singer that goes out and because what happens when you're the singer and you don't play an instrument, you get kind of driven by the band, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you're looking at them and you're signaling to them,
That's it.
and
Hey,
and
cut it
it's like
out.
you're counting down with your fingers and you're doing sticking them up your nose, I don't know, whatever. And nothing works, so it's very difficult, and they don't take rehearsals, so you have to give them your charts at the beginning of
That is one serious problem that Canadian musicians have.
Yeah.
I don't see that problem here in Miami though.
No.
Here in Miami, people do like to rehearse
I think
for
it's a good
whatever reason,
idea, you
for
know.
whatever reason, But I don't know what it is. And then people in Canada question, hey, why don't we do why don't we get calls, or why don't we go to places? Well, you don't like to rehearse. What the heck do you expect? Only
Exactly.
bands that rehearse and are a team.
A
um
gelled.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Get the privilege to tour and things like that. You just
Well, I
Otherwise it's just a salad of things
mm-hmm.
there that you threw on a plate, and expect people to go and see you. Yeah,
Exact.
people will go to see you if you have a name already, and big names get together and don't even rehearse, and what are we going to play? For example, I have been
Yeah.
playing with Paquito, or who is a 20 Grammy Award winner,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been shaking because I said, "Oh my God, what are we going to play? What are we going, Paquito?" And I'm calling him.
Right.
No, don't worry, Luis. Don't worry. Wait, did you eat? What did you eat today? Oh, listen, man, I bought this shirt. And said, "What the heck is this guy talking about?" And him making jokes. Paquito, what are we going to play in 3 minutes from now?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then we go out. And I said, well, whatever he calls, I hope I know,
Yeah.
because,
Exactly.
and then I have been lucky that I have known the song that he said, and many times he has started and not even tell me what song it is. And I have to grab it just by ear. And that is just to give you an example of
Oh, I've been there.
that,
I've been there with you.
that kind of guys,
Yep.
but you I mean, he's so big that anything he does, it will sound great, no
Yeah.
matter what he does, but Canadian musicians, I mean, they're great talented musicians there, but they're lazy. I'm not talking about all of them, of
No,
course,
no, no. You're right. And I'll
because
tell.
there is a bad
Mhm.
bad thing in Canada, or in Toronto at least. People
Toronto.
don't like to rehearse.
Yeah, it's like exactly. And what happens because of that? Because of that, they say, well, just even for me to drop off my charts ahead of time, they don't even want to see my charts ahead of time.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that annoys me. So, but the
That-
thing, but the thing is, though, what you have is the same group of musicians that all get called. So you're going to different places to hear jazz music, and you may have a different combination of the same kind of musicians with maybe a different singer doing the same darn thing all over the city.
Yep.
No wonder people don't go to listen to jazz that much. I'm
Yeah,
sorry I'm saying that. If anyone's listening to me, don't hate me. I've
Especially
stopped
with
singing
singers,
jazz,
yeah.
you know?
Especially with female singers. I mean, I don't know. It's just the same songs, and
Yeah, I know. I
I know
know.
we have to play the classics and the standards, but
Yeah.
sometimes we get
Autumn
married to the
leaves.
same standards. And
Yeah. Chica Ipanema.
you got
Oh no. Well, when I was with a certain band leader, okay. You sing a Chica Ipanema Perfidia is enough for you. Okay. Then you sit down. I won't say who. Anyway, but I was very good at Chica Ipanema and Perfidia. Oh my gosh. But it's true. And that's a very difficult thing. And then of course, if you have, you're going from gig to gig to gig in the summer, like, from a street festival to a barbecue to an evening party, there's that craziness too. Are you there?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I am here.
Sorry, I was talking. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking too much. But yeah, it's frustrating, Luis. It's frustrating because in the old days there were bands that rehearsed and
Absolutely,
they
yes,
gelled,
yes.
even if they were just a garage band. I
That's
mean,
why they were called bands.
yeah. Hello.
Now
Exactly.
they don't. Now they don't band. They don't band.
They don't band, they don't bind, they don't gel, and that's the problem. And that's why, to be honest, I got too frustrated because it was like I'm professional enough that if I give someone a chart, I can get up and sing, but I don't feel like I can sing the way I want to sing. I don't know if you've noticed on YouTube. What I've done now is I do these a cappella things. I get on YouTube and I sing a cappella.
Oh, okay.
But you know what?
I haven't seen it.
No, it's okay. You can look later, but if you want. But the thing is because I can sit there, relax, and sing the song the way I
And do
feel,
whatever you
the
want.
feel it, way I feel it. You know. And when I get on stage with this system, this lack of a system, you know, I'm nervous because I don't know what's coming. I don't know if they're
Yeah.
going to follow me, if the chart's going to fall off. One day, all the charts fell off the bass player's music stand, and that's the
Mm.
other thing. Here's another thing. I don't know if you'll agree with me. When you go on stage, don't have a whole bunch of charts in front of you. Know your music. Unless
Well,
it's some,
yeah,
no, if it's a musician, no, I'm talking about the singers. I should say singers. I've seen
yeah, I
singers
think,
get up with a book in front of them
yeah,
with their lyrics.
yeah. It is. In my case, I don't know if I am a singer or I am a musician.
Well, you're
So
both. You're an
I
entertainer. You're
you know,
everything.
so I have to many times bring my charts just to see what chord is next and what kind of arrangement did I did on this or whatever,
Well,
because
that's
I will
different. That's
forget.
different. That's different, Luis. That I'm not. I'm talking about in general. You know, like of course, an orchestra needs their charts,
Hmm.
but when with the front people, the people who are right in front, like really, like if they're, I guess I'm talking about as maybe I'm just talking about as a jazz singer because I go out to some of these gigs and the person's got a binder with
I know,
all and it just looks bad.
with 400 songs. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. And how can you and that's for rehearsal. When you if I don't know the song like all the lyrics, I'm not going to sing it that night, you know?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll do like Ella Fitzgerald and she forgot lyrics all the time and changed them.
Oh
It was
yeah, I
and
know.
it
Yeah,
became one of her most famous songs, you know, because
I know,
it
I
was one of
know, I
those
know.
like How High the Moon, you know, she did some crazy stuff on that and it was great, you know?
Jack the Knife, I think.
Oh, Mac the Night. Oh,
Mac the Knife.
yeah, yeah. And on
She completely changed the lead, and Sarah Vaughan used to completely forget his because they were not only singers, they were musicians, so they were
exactly.
more concentrated on the improvisation and all the things that they did with the vocals.
Yeah.
They were they were they were players
Yeah. They were
that
part of
use
the
lyrics,
band. They were part of the
that
band.
use lyrics.
Yeah.
That's my case as well, you know. So I
Ah.
have issues with lyrics just because I'm listening to what the pianist is doing. I'm looking what I'm doing on my chart. So if I don't help myself with a chart there, I'm singing a song. I,
Hmm.
I may I may forget the lyrics, and I have done that many times. Unless, of course, it's a very classic song that everybody knows, like "Bésame mucho" and things like that,
Yeah.
that I will sing. I don't need the lyrics for those
No.
things. But many times, even my own compositions, I because I don't hear them all the time.
No, no, I
Um,
know. You need a
and
little bit of a
I
prompting.
need, yeah, I need a, oh my god, how this
But
does this start?
yeah, but
But
and as we get older too, I'm telling you.
yeah, yeah.
So I'm going to play two more songs, and I'm going to
Okay,
play. I'd like to play the one that you wrote for your parents.
okay,
That and then I want to end with Siboney because I love that
okay,
so
right.
much. But
Okay.
Por el camino de la vida that you
Por el
wrote.
camino de la vida, yeah.
Yeah. What's that?
No,
It's for your parents, but why is it for your parents? What is it
well,
about?
the reason why I came to Miami is because my parents got ill. I was basically living there in Canada with them. You know,
Mm.
I took them there for 6 months, and then we came here to US for a week, and we went back. So
Ah,
I could work and tour, and you know,
yeah.
and my parents were functioning sort of.
Mm.
But in 2012, things started going south with my father, and then my father lasted till 2020,
Mm.
and then right weeks after, my mom just fell, and I mean, her
Yeah.
memory was gone, and the song is about dementia,
Ah,
you know, and how you remember that you are a little kid playing with paper boats,
mm.
and then next day or next minute you don't know who you are, and it's like your mind is in a cloud
Oh,
that the only thing you see is smoke, and you don't recognize faces that 5 seconds ago you knew who they were. So that's what the song is all about, and I
wow.
composed that for my parents. Yeah.
Yes, and
Por
that
el
was
camino de la vida is kind of the path through life.
the path through life. Absolutely beautiful. Well, that is yeah, and you just
It's not a happy song.
no, well, it's about life, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we have to do. We need to mark all these things in our lives with songs, with music, with art, with theater, with whatever, with writing. This is what it's all about. That's what art is. So here we are, Por el Camino de la Vida.
Con nitidez veo mi niñez, al papalote voy cordel, hago barquitos de papel. De pronto me confunde el tiempo, ya no recuerdo el día de ayer, solo hay lagunas en mi mente. ¿Acaso fue aquel? nitidez veo mi niñez, al papalote doy cortel, hago barquitos de papel, de pronto me confunde el tiempo, ya no recuerdo el día de ayer, solo hay lagunas en mi mente, ¿acaso fui aquel? ¿Acaso fui aquel? ¿Acaso fui
Oh, well, there are two things I want to remark on there, Luis. First, the beautiful layering, the trade-offs in the solos.
Okay.
So beautiful, so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
But then I heard your lower register in the last part of the song, and so surprised as you just built and just your range is amazing, and the emotion in your voice, in everything you sing, everything, absolutely everything. You are so emotive, and you can feel the music, and I think that's really missing in a lot of what people singing. You know, Barbara Streisand was once asked, "Do you have a method? What's your method of singing, Barbara?" She said, "Method? What method?"
Exactly.
She said, what I do is I feel the words. I sing the words.
That's what it is.
You know, just know what you're singing about. There's so many beautiful lyrics and people just throw them away.
Yeah, yeah.
Why?
You have to say the words.
Yeah.
You have to sing the words. You sing the words. It doesn't matter what language you're speaking.
No,
You will touch the audience with it.
I agree. And that song that you wrote for your parents, absolutely phenomenal. And the love of for your parents certainly shines through that, and also the sorrow and everything you went through with that as well. That's absolutely beautiful. So I want also to talk about a little bit back to Hilario Duran and you as arrangers and his Grammy Award for the best arrangement. Okay, can you remind me what piece of music was he received that for that you were involved in? Hello, you have to come close to the mic.
It is the arrangement of one of his songs. I don't remember which one was the one that he presented.
Mm-hmm.
But have you had a chance to listen to that CD? I mean, that CD.
I am sad to say I have not had a chance to listen to it yet, and I've got to talk to Hilario about getting him on the program to share all of that. But I was just going to say,
I am on the first, on the first track, the one that I am in.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Pa' Acá por Juanito. Juanito Márquez is another fantastic Cuban composer, arranger, and guitarist.
Right.
He's now 94 years old and he's still alive here in
Oh.
Miami. He's just a treasure.
Oh.
And he was a virtuoso and he invented a rhythm called paca,
Paca.
Paca, paca. Yeah. And Hilario composed this crazy tune and call it paca for Juanito. And
Oh.
I just play the guitar solo in that album. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know exactly what tune.
I think it's
The
it's had to have been for the whole album. I would think. I think it was
probably, yeah,
probably it's for
probably
the album.
as
It's
an
for the album.
arrangement,
Yeah, for the
as an
arrangement of that.
arrangement.
But I know that you two arrange together sometimes. Do you not?
No,
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 no, no.
we don't arrange together. I
Or
mean,
contribute somehow. I don't know.
we
There's
do
something.
contribute. Yeah, we do contribute. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like this chord here, or I would like this here, or
Yeah. Yeah.
yes, we do we do that all the
Yeah.
time,
Yeah. Of course. That's
all the
a.
time. Yeah, but
Well,
you know, it's I think when music and one thing that I mean I love. He called me sometime, Luis, what do you think about this?
yeah.
And it's a song that I is not even associated with me. And I said, you know, I like this better or like that. So
Yeah.
it is nice that we have that kind of relationship that we we respect each other's music
Mm-hmm.
and 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 I appreciate that he being such a huge uh, musician
Yes.
in terms of awards
Oh
and
yeah.
things that he has won, you
He
know,
has won a
that
lot
he
of Junos and now a Grammy.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
other
that
awards. He's amazing. Yeah.
exactly. Then that he calls me and asks me that kind of questions. You know, Hilario is I have a lot of people that I know
Mm-hmm.
there in Toronto and here in Miami. Um, but only two people have come to visit me here.
Oh.
One is Luisito Begoso
Oh, he's a treasure. What
and
a sweet
Hilario
guy.
Duran. Those are the
Mm.
only two people that have come to. They know that I'm not playing much because of my situation with my mom that I'm taking care of her. I just cannot
Yes.
leave her 1 second.
No.
That her condition, she doesn't walk, she doesn't talk. So, um, but those two have come here to this little place to say hello to me, and I will not forget that. I will take that with me till the day I go under. Um,
Mm.
and I know some other musicians that have played with me that have come here to Miami and they don't even bother to call because you know friendship is not as as it used to be. That's
Yeah, it's funny. I was before you said that. I was going to say there has been such a camaraderie amongst the Cuban musicians. It's like a brotherhood, and there are women who are wonderful players as well. There's a lot of female Cuban
yeah, yeah.
bands that they became very popular too. Sorry, this is Marlene Eglinton area. You hear this? Is that your end or mine? That's mine. It's my end. Yeah.
No, I have no noise here.
I have lots of noise. But is there pot? Nowadays with technology, though, Luis, you can still record. And
Yes.
I would love to see you taking home a Grammy because you deserve
Oh,
one. Absolutely.
all over it, you know, it's just more the but one thing that I mean it is hard for me to say, but if
Just a little
they
bit closer to the mic. Yeah.
it is very political,
Yeah.
very
Oh, I
political,
know.
very political. So it's not about the quality of the music. Like for example, Nina Simone never won anything. You know.
That's true. I know the 1% are not always the best.
Exactly, and then you see people that you say, "Oh my God, how can you be?" Yeah, but yeah, it is a
That's true.
um, peer
It.
vote,
Yes. Yes.
peers vote. But the peer vote, I mean, I get so many phone calls here. Luis, can you vote for this? And I say, oh my God, what is this?
I know.
This is not quality anymore.
It's
And for example, in the
quantity
Grammy,
rather than quality.
yeah,
Yeah.
and no, no, and people calling you, so so just to get your vote on X or Y or Z
Yeah.
artist. So that is no longer quality based. That is friendship based.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
exactly. How many friends that well that's because of all the online stuff. How many friends do you have and all of this kind
Yeah,
of thing,
that's
you
what it
know?
is. Yeah,
But you know,
that's what it is.
I submitted because I wrote two songs over COVID. You know,
Uh-huh.
yes I did. I don't play an instrument, but I can write music. I have a band in my head.
All right.
So I just sing it into my Audacity, and then I send it to the producer, and then he puts the music around it. But anyway, but the point was when I went to submit it to the Junos, there was no place for a single jazz artist. Like sing for single, and there was
No, no, no.
no, there was no jazz female or jazz male or nothing like that. No more category for that, but could you ever find everything for world music, indigenous music, rap, reggae, whatever, all
Rap,
that,
yeah, rap,
all this stuff,
urban,
all
all
this,
those things that are not
yeah.
music.
Well, the thing is though, but it's all what they call virtue signaling Junos, you know,
Yep.
and they completely pushed the poor old white woman out. I will say that. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
if I was to go, I would love to record again, but I can't afford it. And because I spent my money for those two songs, that was $4,000 for two songs. Okay,
Oh
that
yeah.
yeah, that you know
Expensive, very
how
expensive.
it costs. But the thing is that if I was to apply for a grant, I would not be given one.
Yeah.
But that's okay. We're gonna. I'd like to hear just. I'm gonna play Siboney because I have a special reason I love that song so much. That's a Lecuona song?
Yes.
Yes. We have to end with Lecuona, of course.
I
Tell me about why you love to sing this. You sing it so beautifully,
Well,
of
it's not
course.
that I like to sing it. I'm tired of the song, to tell you the truth. Because
Siboney, you don't you
yeah,
sing
oh
it.
yeah, I am tired of it because it get played so many times, and people ask for it
Oh,
everywhere I go. It's like, hey, Siboney, Siboney, Siboney. Oh my God!
oh no! Is that why you?
But no, but it's that is me. That is me. I am glad that people like my interpretation, and I will keep on singing it. But it's like you get tired of singing the same thing over and over.
Well,
Um,
is there another song you prefer? I can see.
no, 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 no.
I can
If you
leave.
like it,
No,
if you
I can leave with two songs. Siboney, and what other song would you like me to play? It's a podcast. It's as long as I want it to be. I'm the boss. I don't.
um,
What other song would you
no,
like?
uh,
You've
you
got.
can play. What would you like? See,
Well,
there is a song that I composed that names my fourth album, Momentos Cubanos,
oh,
and that is an instrumental. You can play those two, and they are in
where
the
is
same
that? What's that one called?
Momentos
Oh,
Cubanos.
sorry. Of course, you just told me that. Sorry.
Yeah, Momentos Cubanos. It's like the first, or it's on the same album, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, but you gave me an absolute treasure of music here, and I'm just looking forward here. So Momentos Cuban, I found it. Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
love
going.
that song.
I'm going to play. Okay,
I
we're gonna play
love that.
Momentos Cubanos and then Siboney after that
Yeah,
because
that's lovely. Yeah.
yeah, well, because that was the first. That was the first. I fell in love over that beautiful song, you know, and
Oh,
yeah,
Siboney.
yeah. Unfortunately, for
It's a lovely
it's a lovely
song.
song, and it's an
Really.
old song. And you know the beautiful thing about the Cuban music, it doesn't matter if there's a new music or the old music. There's that beautiful sonority. It's all
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
It's all
And I
there.
did an arrangement that is modern. I brought it back to our times. I mean, in
Yes.
terms of harmonization.
Well, that's what I
And
mean. Yeah.
I did an afro, I did bolero, and I did cha-cha as well.
Ah.
On that song in particular. And there you go. You like Siboney and
I like it
uh,
because
ano-
I just, yeah, that would kind of made me fall in love with a certain Cuban, but
that's good.
it's all over now.
That's
Para
good. That's
11 años.
well,
11
it's
años.
good memories. It's good memories.
It's
You
a
keep
good
the good
memory.
memories and forget the bad ones.
Exacto, exacto. Es la verdad. No,
And if that song brings you good memories, well, go for it.
it's sad, but it's all good. And Momentos Cubanos, what is it about?
Momentos Cubanos, Cuban moments, and that was. It is a song that I composed just thinking of the countrymen in Cuba.
Ah,
On riding their horses, going working the land,
ah.
and that's what I thought. I just closed my eyes and saw a beautiful countryside in Cuba, that it could be anywhere, where you see the men working their land with their horses, nothing clean,
Mhm.
just messy dirt, uh, but the purity of the land
Of the land
and
and
the
life.
man working it. And it was Momentos Cubanos because that's what I thought, what I saw when
Cuban
I closed my
moments, yeah.
eyes, and I saw a Cuban picture. And my wife said, call it Momentos Cubanos. And
She's
Momentos
right.
Cubanos,
She's
was,
right. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Well, we're going to play Momentos Cubanos and then follow that with Siboney. And I want to thank you so much, Luis, for
Thank you
joining
so
me
much, Joyce.
here. It's
I'm sorry
absolute.
that it took so long, but
Oh
I've been,
no,
all over the places.
no.
But
It's
we
always
finally did it.
the timing is always the right timing because you never know what's going to happen. And this, maybe the podcast will go out and someone will hear it, and then you'll share it with someone and it'll remind them of something, and there you'll be.
Exactly.
Something domino will happen, you know.
Yeah, you never know. You never know.
But I just want to share all of this with people because you are a wonderful human being, and I'm so
Thank
happy to
you.
know you and to call you friend, and to have been able to even, yeah, I it's all good. So again, thank you so much. You can stick around until the end of the two songs because then I'll just
Okay.
sign off, and next time we can sing Capuchito de Alali together.
Capullito de Alelí. Lindo capullo de Alelí.
Si tú supieras mi dolor
Correspondieras a mi amor.
y
Y calmaras
calmares
mi
mi sufrir. Yeah.
Beautiful song.
It's a beautiful song, and it's
That's Rafael Hernandez. That's a Puerto Rican composer.
exact. And I think it was for a show or something, or a movie or something.
I don't know the story. I just know that I love that song.
It's a beautiful song. I never got to sing it in the band because it was always a train wreck. Anyway,
Next time we'll you can play from that recording that I did. It was a
yeah,
live recording on
I
on a
saw
very
that.
good friend. Yeah.
Oh! Before we go, how do people buy your music? They can go to your website. Jeez,
They can go to my
I'm a what?
website. Yes.
Boy,
They
oh
can
boy,
go to
let
my
me tell
website.
you, you got to go to
Um,
the website, and that is
luismario.com, or they can go to Luis Mario Ochoa on YouTube.
mhm.
They can listen to it on Spotify. We won't make any money that way, but
No,
but
but
there are wonderful videos on my YouTube channel, and there are like 15,000 people that have subscribed to my channel. That's fantastic. I mean,
exactly.
yeah,
But
15,000 is a big. I remember when I had only one, and
I,
that was my wife, the first one that
God
subscribed to my
bless her.
channel, and
I
now I
tell,
have 15,000, almost 16,000 people.
well, she brought you luck, and for
Eh,
sure.
Yeah,
But
I
also
love her
people.
very much.
I want people to purchase the music though, and I saw all your albums are on sale on your website.
On my website, yeah.
Yes. So
And I
go.
will sign it. It will be my pleasure to sign it and
Oh,
personally send it to them.
excellent day. So again, the website is
LuisMario.com, or easier for people, CubanMusicProductions.com.
okay, perfect. I will put that all in the description box. You gotta believe it. I will do that. So let's go to Momentos Cubano. Of course, I closed up all my things here, of course, because I was going to your website. I'm telling you, I'm quite the thing. Okay, so Mementos Cubanos, and we'll listen to Siboney and a sign off, and just stay put and enjoy this wonderful, wonderful music from Luis Mario Ochoa.
pienso en ti. Si de mi sueño, si no oyes la queja de mi voz, si si no vienes, me moriré de amor. Si de mis sueños, te espero con ansia en mi caney, porque tú eres dueña de mi amor, Siboney. Oye el eco de mi canto de cristal. No te pierdas por entre el rudo manigual. De mi voz, si si no vienes, me moriré de amor. Si de mis sueños, te espero con ansia en mi caney, porque tú eres dueña de mi amor, Siboney. Oye el eco de mi canto de cristal. No te pierdas por entre el rudo manigual.
You are listening to the Joyce Ulrich Show from Toronto, Canada, Arts and Entertainment Edition.
Hey there, music lovers. Did you know that getting licensed to share music online is not just the right thing to do? It's also super important for supporting creators and the music industry. That's why we're proud to be licensed by SOCAN, a copyright collective that grants licenses for online music broadcasts in Canada. By getting licensed through SOCAN, you ensure that every beat, every note, and every melody that you play is compliant and fair to the creators. Join us in supporting the music community. Visit SOCAN's website at www.socan.com and get your web radio, podcast, or any other use of online music licensed today. Let's stream beautiful music together, legally and ethically. SOCAN. Music, people, connected.